model releases. And a part of the bonus material are a few of my model releases. It's not an extensive collection of model releases, but there are some model releases in there that are helpful. I'll kind of give away the story here. If you go online and you Google Getty model release, you'll get what is considered the best model release in the industry. And Getty actually has put it on their site because they can't figure out a downside of having it out there. So that's the best model release. I've got some sample model releases in the bonus material as well. I am not a lawyer. I do not play one on TV. This is not legal advice. Apparently in some states I actually have to say, this is not legal advice, okay? This is an outline of the issue. It's not the actual law. Please don't come and sue me because I'm just trying to get you to understand the outlines of it, okay? Most of the laws around privacy and use of your images are state-specific, okay? So I'm going to give you the broad outlines, okay? But they're state-specific. Rule number one about model releases, 90% of what you read on the web is wrong. I follow this a lot because this is the core of my business. Does not matter where you're standing when you make the photo. I don't know where that one got started. It doesn't matter who gives you verbal permission when you're standing there. I mean, those two help in terms of the access of making the photograph, but it has nothing to do with model releases. Okay? It only matters when the image is published, exhibited, or disseminated. It's all about the use. Capture of the image, cops will tell you a lot of things. Most cops in New York think you can't photograph in the subway. They're wrong. It's been through the court system. It's very clear you can photograph in the subway in New York. There are certain places where you really can't photograph, inside hospitals, that's privacy issues, stuff like that. There's a lot of things that are debatable. People will tell you they're usually wrong, but that's the capture part. Our part, which we're talking about, is the use part, publication, exhibition, dissemination. Okay? Again, privacy rights vary by state, and they actually vary by country, too. The right to control how a person's image is used in an endorsement is almost universal. How the image is used is almost universal. These are the outlines of the issue, not the actual law. I'm going to do a very simple kind of a chart here to really simplify, but I think make clear what it is. You can think of a photograph that's being used, not captured, but used as editorial, as in First Amendment free speech protected, as in the inside of a book, a magazine or a newspaper, a fine art exhibition, and so far, inside a website. And I follow this stuff a lot because this is a big part of my business, okay? You can get paid over here. It's not about money and you getting paid. It's about, is that image broadly defined as what I would call editorial, okay? By comparison, on the other side of this divide, and this is simplistic, but it will, if you use this as your starting point, it will keep you out of trouble. Is there an implied or stated endorsement? Buy this cup. Oops, they just used my image for buying this cup. That was an endorsement. I'm being a little sarcastic. Okay. A book cover endorses or sells the book. Book covers are a problem area because the inside is typically editorial, but the cover itself is not. The cover itself actually endorses or sells the product. Okay? At the moment, and we're all following this stuff really carefully, the website opener on your site is perceived as something that endorses or sells you. So if you look at the first page on my website, I have that blue photo I have a number of photos, but none of them have people on them because of this thing. Still waiting to see where somebody ends up in courts and if somebody loses, okay? So the endorsee has rights. How your image is used to endorse something is basically this divide. And it's a little simplistic, but it's really, really helpful to understand. Is my image being used inside an exhibition? Is it inside a magazine? I got a pretty good chance. Is the image on the front of the magazine? Is it in the front of the book? Is it on the poster for the film? You got a pretty good chance of losing, okay? It's pretty straightforward stuff. Don't fiddle with this stuff in the third world, by the way. That taxi driver in Haiti who you photographed, his uncle lives in New York, and nothing would make him happier than to sue you. I'm being sarcastic. But don't fiddle with model releases. You'll read about people who did stupid things with model releases, and they almost always involve losing a lot of money.